We're listening to DFC Radio.
Oh, hey there, gentle listeners. This is your buddy, Herb the Wizard, and I'll be ready in just a minute. Just let me find it on the dial.
Now, here comes the music.
Do I look bothered?
Oh, you are awful, but I like you.
Everybody's voting for the friendly voice of radio.
Well, there we go. This is it. Get ready. We're going to start the show. Hi there, friends. This is the Irreverend Job, and I just want to remind you that if you are helping a friend and if a friend is helping you, then that's a nice thing, and that's a positive force for the agents of goodness. Oh, gee wizard, I'll have to remember that there, Irreverend Job, and this is your buddy Herb the Wizard, and I want to welcome you to this, our 69th episode of the Grubby Cup Show, and yeah, I'm sure that this is the 69th episode, didn't have anything to do with Irreverend's little comment there, but alright now, let's get ready and we're going to listen to some Kelly Erickson, and then we're going to start the show. And now it's time to listen to a little bit of the wonderful and delightful Kelly Erickson, currently playing with Teaser.
We got some seeds to grow, who'll keep you in the know, variety to claim, so baby, what's his name? He's a man to know, he'll make your garden grow. Grubby Cup's his name, he's the man who'll make a change.
Hello there, gentle listeners. This is your roving bard, Leaf Malone, reporting on the Grow with Grubby Cup show, brought to you by DFZ Radio at dfzradio.com. And here they are, the buds of the circle table. Oh, see, it is I, Sancho Banza. Good evening. I'm Alfred the Dungeon Keeper. Hi there, friends. This is the Irreverend Joe, and I'm Herb the Wizard. Psst, it's me, Vinny the Viper, the sheriff of Riding Park. And I am your host, the Green Knight, Grubby Cup Stash. Thank you for joining us here on the Grow with Grubby Cup show. Brought to you by the good folks over at DFZ Radio at dfzradio.com. Well, hey there, Grubby. Well, first of all, let's do the upcoming events. All right, Herb, I think that sounds like a fine idea. On June 1st in Florida, Oasis Garden in Jacksonville is having a Customer Appreciation Day. On 6/20 in Maine, Urban Garden Center in Brewer is having a Customer Appreciation Day. And on 6/20 in Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula Garden Center will be having a Growers Cup and Conference. I plan on attending this one personally, so if you're in the Upper Peninsula area, come on by. I'd love to see you. On 7/26 in California, in the Los Angeles Convention Center, Maxim Yield is having their Indoor Garden Expo. And in 9/12 in Maine, the Indoor Garden Center in Topsham is having a Customer Appreciation Day. If you're a hydroponics store or in the industry and are having an upcoming event, please let me know. I'll announce it here on the air as well as putting it on the front page at grubbycup.com. This is a free service, no charge to you. I just do it to help people get informed. Hello there, Mr. and Mrs. Jenna Reader and all the ships at sea. Now it's time for... The Grubby Cup is a portion of our program where we take questions from you, the general listeners, and read them here on air. Please keep in mind that plant that shall not be named shall continue not to be named, so please don't include it in your letters. Well, hey, Grubby, I got a letter for you. All right, Herb, what's the letter say? The letter, it says, Dear Grubby Cup, are you aware that the first choice of campus is using don't be a you-know-what as one of your first commandments? I think that's kind of cool because Irreverend Job has been using that for a long time now. What do you think about that? Well, I think it's cool, and let's see what the Irreverend would have to say on the topic. Well, now, friends, I gotta tell you that I think that in some portion that's a little bit of validation right there, and for another, I think the information and knowledge, especially if it's true, should be freely disseminated unless it's gonna hurt somebody. And now, friends, I don't rightly see how knowing that it's better if you're not an asshole is any kind of state secret kind of thing. In fact, I'd prefer if more people knew that don't being an asshole is a valid lifestyle choice. So, Irreverend, I noticed that you used the word lifestyle choice. Do you think that, being that way is that a conditioning thing or is that a genetic thing? Well, now, I'm not entirely sure there. I gotta say, I've seen some intellectual, nice sounding stuff on one side of that argument, and I've seen some stuff on the other side of that argument. And now, friends, what I want to suggest to you is that there's a solution to both sides, and then it won't make none difference. Now, what I think that you should do is I think that you should raise your children not to be assholes. 'Cause if it is nurture that is where the assholeness is coming from, then by teaching our children, taking care of our children, and being loving to our children, then we would be able to stem some of the assholeness right there. Now, I know what some of you are saying. I know what some of you in the back are saying. You're saying, what can we do if it's genetic? What can we do if it is something that is ingrained in your DNA and there's nothing you can do about it? Well, friends, to those folks I say, there's a second portion to this solution, and it's something that will probably improve your life as well as improving the lives of those that come after your life. And that's namely quit having sex with assholes. If the person you are with is an asshole, then quit giving them the opportunity to pass on that genetic predisposition, if it exists, to future generations. Besides, from an informal survey, it has been determined that if you are having sex with an asshole, then you are not getting all that you can get out of the experience. This has been a little mini serum from the Irreverend Joe. Well, thanks, Irreverend. I thought we were doing letters right now, but apparently we had a little mini sermon. Anyway, thank you for your time, and thank you for your letter. I did not know about that until you brought it to my attention. So that's an interesting, cool thing, and I wish him the best of luck. Because I think anybody who's saying good stuff is a good thing, and there's certainly enough people going around saying bad stuff.
Grubby Cup, I have a letter for you.
All right, Sancho, what's it say?
Senor Grubby Cup, he said, Dear Grubby Cup, what is a grubby coin and why do you use them?
Oh, okay. The Grubby coins is something I made a couple years ago, and what they're used for is if you wind up with some overly dried lavender, that kind of thing, you can use them to re-moisten it in a slow, controlled manner. Besides, I think they're fun to make.
Well, why do you need to make them?
Well, the short version is there's small bits of terracotta type. You can use a terracotta flower pot and just break off a chunk of it and dip that in water and use that, but I think it's more fun to make your own. What you can do to make them is just get a hold of some natural clay. It has to be real clay. And fashion them into, these small little discs. You can roll them out and cut them out with a cookie cutter. That seems to work relatively well. You want to keep them, decently small. So a little bigger than $50. And once you've got them cut out, let them dry. They have to be bone dry, so they have to be completely dry. And then you can put them in a barbecue, mix it in with the coals, and set the coals on fire. And after the coals have burned themselves out, go back in and dig out your little grubby coins.
Oh, see, I see.
For more detailed instructions, if you go to YouTube and do a search for Grubby Cup, there's a short video I did on them a while back that goes into more detail.
Oh, see, I see. He sounds like it could be fun.
Is there another letter?
Oh, see, this one she reads, Dear Grubby Cup, are higher NPK numbers on nutrients necessarily better?
Well, Sancho, it depends on what you mean by better. Keep in mind that the NPK numbers on the front of a nutrient package stand for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And what they are percentages based on weight of how much nitrogen, phosphorus oxide, and potassium oxide are in it. So a 100-pound bag of a nutrient that was labeled 1, 2, 3 would have 1 pound of nitrogen, 2 pounds of phosphorus oxide, and 3 pounds of potassium oxide.
Oh, see, I see.
Now, since nutrients are generally concentrates, that is, you mix them with a large quantity of water to apply them, or with a fair amount of media if you're top dressing, that the numbers on the front really signify, how concentrated it is and in what proportions they're in. So you can use, something with a 5.5 rating at twice strength, and you'll get a similar result, all things being equal, to a fertilizer that's 10, 10, 10, So
the amount of NPK on the product is, you can think of it as how concentrated it is, and you're going to dilute that down to a reasonable level for the plants no matter what the starting NPK is. You just wind up using more of that fertilizer for the same result if it has a lower NPK rating.
All right, that makes sense.
There's a lot to discuss about NPK in general, but hopefully that gives you some of the basics to start on. For more information, my book, Grubby Cup's Garden Notes, is available on Amazon and in fine hydroponic stores nationwide. Look for the purple book with my big old head on the cover.
But don't confuse it with Grubby Cup's potting mix,
which is a bag of potting mix with my big old head on the cover. And now for a few words from our sponsors. The Grow with Grubby Cup show is brought to you in part by Big Bubba Bob's Bait Shack. Come on in. Whip out your rod and we'll measure it. Never know, you might need a replacement someday. At Big Bubba Bob's Bait Shack. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
We're listening to dfzradio.com.
Hey there, everybody, and this is your pal, the Wizard, and I'm here to remind you that the Heavy Tea Grow Show is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Beer 30 Show is on Mondays at 5:30. On Tuesdays is the Doofer. You get a girl in a garden at 5 p.m. and Grow with Grubby Cup Show at 6. Make sure to tune in to DFZ Radio for all your bizarre, weird, and odd programming.
dfzradio.com.
Botanicare is proud to introduce a revolutionary 3-part nutrient system that is the culmination of over 15 years of research and development. The Kind Plant Nutrient System. Designed by leading plant physiologists, this is the most versatile, effective, yet easy-to-use plant nutrient system ever created. It all starts with Kind Base. Kind Base contains nitrogen and calcium, but no trace minerals, magnesium, or sulfur. By placing those nutrients in the Grow and Bloom formulas, you have greater control over how your plants grow in your medium of choice. Using coco coir or RO water, just add more base to increase calcium levels. Growing in clay pebbles or rock wool, then just reduce the amount of base to ensure the proper calcium level. It's that easy. Kind Grow contains trace minerals and a proprietary blend of all natural ingredients to help maximize root growth, reduce internodal spacing, and create a lush canopy. Kind Bloom was formulated with the optimum phosphorus to potassium ratio. Your plants will have healthy branch and stalk development, accelerated flower set, and increased yields. Kind Bloom also contains magnesium to help improve photosynthetic efficiency, which is critical in accelerated growth environments. To put it more simply, Botanicare's Kind Nutrient System is the only nutrient system that is fully customizable to your kind of plants and medium. Botanicare Kind Base, Grow, and Bloom. Fully customizable. Any plant, any medium. For more information, go to botanicare.com. Botanicare Kind. Make it your kind.
You're listening to dfzradio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on the DFZ Radio Network at dfzradio.com. Hello, gentle listeners and all the ships at sea. This is your wandering bard, Leaf Malone. And now it's time for Meals and Munchies. Well, gee whiz, your Grubby Cup, I'm feeling kind of hungry. So what are we making today? Well, Herb, today I thought we'd make one of my kitchen sink salads. Oh, gee, Grubby, that's good. I like those. And today we'll have a special guest because Alfred's going to help us out. Oh, Alfred's going to be around sharp instruments? Okay. Good evening. I'm so looking forward to helping. All right, now, first a little bit about the whole kitchen sink salad thing. It's not a weight loss salad. Just put it out of your mind that it's a healthy thing. In part, I think that a lot of people have issues with salads because it's considered a diet food or it's veggies or what have you. And it really, it's really tarnished the good name of, salads. Salads can taste good. Especially if you throw everything in the kitchen sink in it. So when you're picking things to go into your salad, pick things that you enjoy eating and pick things that go well together, and don't put veggies in it that you don't care for or that you have to force yourself to eat or what have you. And I never make it the same way twice. What I do and what I recommend you do is I go into the produce department and I grab a little bit of a whole bunch of things that look good. And that's what I make it with. So, although it's not refined, and here's an example. Iceberg lettuce is like the commoner's, lowbrow lettuce that I personally prefer. What I found is that butternut and romaine and all of the quote unquote nicer lettuces, they all tend to taste very bitter to me. So I like iceberg lettuce, and I'll cop to it because I'm a peasant food kind of guy. So get whatever kind of lettuce you like. If you like the fancier lettuce, get some of that, what have you. But the goal is to get stuff that will make it appeal to you, because you're going to eat it. So, for instance, I'll get an iceberg, I had iceberg lettuce to use as kind of my base, and Alfred's going to show us a quick and easy way to prepare. If you're going to use an entire head, if you're not going to use the whole head, then just, tear bits off of it. By and large, lettuce is torn, not cut. Or you can just skip the whole thing and just get bag-o lettuce from the grocery store. But if you are preparing ahead, this is, here's a way to do it. What you do is you take the head of lettuce gently and you hold it in your hands. You run your fingers across it. You find the little place where it's cut from the stalk. The place that is referred to as the heart of the head of lettuce. And ease your fingertips to the opposite side so it is cradled in your hand. Little stem portion
opposite your hand. Weigh it carefully. Feel the coolness in your fingertips as you grasp it. With your palm open and your fingers spread. Gently caress and hold. And give it a slight squeeze. So you don't drop it, and then take it and smash it against the table. If you do it with enough force and enough violence, when you turn it back over, you should see the stem part has been broken from the leaves, and you can take your fingertips and you can drive them into the head and curl your fingers around the heart and pull it out, ripping its heart away. And a nice thing about that is that you may still tear up the larger pieces in that, but after that, that's the section that holds the head of lettuce together, so the lettuce will fall apart very, easily after that, which is yes, it is. If you can do it with cabbage, but you must hit much harder. And it's quick. It's a fast way of preparing a head of lettuce. Just make sure that you smash it hard enough, or else it won't break, and you won't be able to pull out its heart with your fingertips. I like to use about half lettuce to the size of the salad that I'm making, so that half of it is lettuce or so, and then put on the other stuff that you get, on top of it. And I like a pretty big variety of things. I will put in, sliced carrots and radishes, raw turnip, sunflower seeds, croutons. I'm not bashful when it comes to adding, some of these little calorie-laden treats. Because, like I said, with this, we're not shooting for a weight loss salad. We're shooting for a big salad that's going to taste good to you. So if you need to dress it up some, then, dress it up some. Some of the other things that I like to put in, sliced sweet pickles, garden vegetables, particularly, for instance, I keep onions growing in the back, little green onions, and just whenever I'm going to make something like this, I'll just go out and I'll cut a few of the tops off of them, and they grow back. And what makes that situation really nice is that means that pretty much just whenever I have a call for it, just go out back and cut off some of the tops and chop them up, wash them, chop them up, and, put them in a salad or whatever I'm making. Speaking of chopping things, you must be very careful with a knife. Don't put your fingers along the portion that cuts. Take your cutting board. Take what you're going to cut. Hold it so that your fingers are away from the sharp portion of the blade. Slice gently. If If you have to press too hard, sharpen your knife. It should gently penetrate tender flesh of any fruit that you may add. Should continue to cut until the pieces are small enough that they fit into your mouth not only easily but pleasantly. You want to make the eating experience pleasant, so make sure that your cuts are close enough together to make eating a pleasure, and enjoy your work. For salad dressings, you can try. There's a whole big variety of salad dressings that you can use. I like ranch and Thousand Island dressing both. I'm gonna do a spritz one way and then a spritz the other. It looks nice, and the flavor profile I enjoy, because it gives kind of a, one bite's got a little bit more ranch and one bite's got a little bit more Thousand Island in it, and that, again, there's a reason why they don't call it Baskin Robbins one flavor. If you don't have a salad dressing that you really enjoy, I encourage you to try a variety. And even if you do have a favorite, still, give a vinaigrette a shot now and then, or a Oriental salad type dressing, and expand your palate. You never know unless you try. You may find something that's really tasty to go on your salad. Also, I enjoy a bit of cheese and a bit of meat. There's something about the smooth, silky texture of milk that's been turned to cheese before you put it in your mouth and let the flavor fill you up, and then take a bite with animal flesh that's been prepared in cuts such as ham or turkey or whatever sort of flesh you prefer to eat. Ham and turkey's good. I also like bacon. Bacon's good. Lots of things are better with bacon. When your salad is done, enjoy it. Enjoy the wet parts, the crunchy parts. You put it in your mouth and feel it with your tongue, and your saliva starts to break it down before you swallow it and make it part of your body. And that's about all the time we have this week for Meals and Munchies. Tune in next week, and maybe we won't have Alfred come back for next week's.
This program is brought to you in part by
Grooming Genie, all breed dog and cat grooming in Ohio. I know that, the popular term for it is, dog and cat groomer, what have you.
but if you go to Facebook and look at their work, they really are closer to a canine and feline beautician than just a groomer. So if you are in the Ohio area, and particularly if you want to do something really special for your little furry friend, give the Grooming Genie folks a call and go wild. Have fun with it. These are the sort of folks that you'd want to call. Not only if you wanted your critter to look nice in the traditional sense, but also if you wanted to do a non-traditional rainbow stripe sort of thing. So once again, that's the Grooming Genie out of Ohio. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
Well, hey there, everybody, and this is your pal, the Wizard, and I'm here to remind you that the Heavy Tea Grow Show is on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Beer 30 Show is on Mondays at 5:30. On Tuesdays, it's a twofer. You get a Girl in a Garden at 5 p.m. and Grow with Grubby Cup Show at 6. Make sure to tune in to DFZ Radio for all your bizarre, weird, and odd programming.
DFZradio.com.
Hi, and welcome to Non-Specific Hydro.
Yeah, hey, I have a buddy of mine that was telling me about a great additive.
Okay, do you remember the name?
Yeah, his name's Steve. He's a good buddy.
No, the product.
No, he told me it was a super concentrated organic enhancer. Comes in a yellow bottle.
Well, it sounds like he's talking about Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics.
I don't think that was the name, but he also told me it was a vegan bioplant stimulator that contained vitamins, plant sugars, amino acids, seaweed extract.
Yeah, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
I don't think that's it, man. He told me it was something like Dora Vicious Flush or something, and he said it was like an organic supplement that could also be used in vegging or flowering, and that it was compatible with hydro soil and cocoa.
Yes, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
Oh, hey, man. I just remembered what it's called. It's Floralicious Plus.
Oh, good. I was drawing a blank.
Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics. Ask for it by name.
Your garden's looking far out. You must listen to DFZradio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash, and you're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
Flash, this is your wandering bard, Leaf Malone, and it's time for Poetry to Ponder.
Good evening. This is Alfred with a selection from Grimm's Fairy Tales. This excerpt is from the story The Goose Girl. Not to be confused with The Goose Girl, which was another story altogether.
The following is how the original story, as recorded by Grimm, ends. At the head of the table sat the bridegroom with the king's daughter on one side of him and the waiting maid on the other. But the waiting maid was blinded, and she did not recognize the princess in her dazzling array. When they had eaten and drunk and were merry, the aged king asked the waiting maid as a riddle what a person deserved who had behaved in such and such a way to her master, and at the same time related the whole story and asked what sentence such a one merited. Then the false bride said, "She deserves no better fate than to be stripped entirely naked and put in a barrel which is studded inside with pointed nails, and 2 white horses should be harnessed to it, which will drag her along through one street after another until she is dead." "It is you," said the aged king, "and you have pronounced your own sentence, and thus it shall be done unto you." When the sentence had been carried out, the young king married his true bride, and both of them reigned over the kingdom in peace and happiness.
And now it's time for a buzz of the circle table. Well, gee whiz, Grubby Cup. That's a bit from Grimm's Fairy Tales, and Alfred's gonna give me the creeps.
Well, it's some of the fairy tales, especially some of the older ones, aren't really all that kid-friendly.
Well, you don't sound very wizard-friendly either. A lot of times the poor wizard really gets a short end of the stick.
Well, Herb, tell you what, why don't you make sure that you're nice and safe, and we'll go on to the next segment. Maybe that'll help.
Flash, this is your wandering bird, Leaf Malone, and it's time for... this week's Moment of Meditation.
If it is safe for you to do so, close your eyes, relax, let the tension from the day float from your body. Feel yourself becoming lighter as your tensions and the negative energy floats away from you. And breathe in good air. And exhale the bad air. With each inhale, bring in the good air to nourish you. And as you exhale, release the tension, release the worries. And inhale. And hold it. And exhale. Feel your body becoming lighter. Imagine yourself floating on a cloud or on a puff of smoke. And breathe in. And breathe out. And relax. And feel the lightness. And feel at peace. And as you are ready, Come back to yourself. Become aware of your body again. And inhale. And exhale. Be at peace and enjoy the rest of your evening. This has been Grubby Cup with your moment of meditation.
Oh, wow, Grubby, you know what? I do feel a little better. In fact, I feel quite a bit better. Thank you very much, Grubby Cup. And I gotta admit, part of it was Grubby Cup's your meditation, and, you know, part of it was this really nice magical potion I got right here. I just hope everybody's having a really, really nice day. It is I, the Sheriff of Rhineport.
Hey, Sheriff. So, like, what happened to your trumpet, man? You used to have a guy with a trumpet, and now you got, like, a kazoo.
Budget cuts. The king's sixth wife's Pomeranian needed a pedicure, and the money had to come from somewhere.
Wait, so you lost your little trumpet dude because one of the king's ex-wives' dogs needed their nails done?
Well, yes, technically.
Oh, dude, that blows. Hey, Herb, get the sheriff some magic potion. I think he could really use it. He's having one of those days.
Oh, gee whiz, I'm sorry, dear Mr. Sheriff. Here, why don't you take a little magical potion and maybe a couple breathing exercises? But that does sound kind of nice. Well, dear Mr. Sheriff, sir, in with the good air, and out with the bad air. Isn't that nice? Well, yes, I must say it is. Nonetheless, I am here on official business.
Oh, what you need, Sheriff?
Well, I think he needs another drink of magical potion and a couple more breaths before he does anything else. Here you go, and keep it in with the good air. No, big one. Big breath. Hold it. And out with the bad air. That's good, though, Sheriff, sir. That's tasty. Now, I came here for some reason.
Is it because Sancho's taco stand is having all the tacos you can keep down for 10 puka shell sale today?
Well, no. Wait. Tacos. I love tacos. I will be back later. Tacos. Oh, hey, Grubby. How long you gonna think it's gonna take him to remember what was he came here to hassle us about?
I don't know. It may depend on how many legs Sancho has left.
Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. You're listening to the radio thingy there. It's me. It's Vinny the Viper. And I just wanted to poke my head in and tell you guys that if you haven't been following along, that Sancho has been turned into a cockroach, and well, you know, his legs come off during the day, generally during safety meetings. It's a thing. Anyway, back to the show.
Also brought to you by Grow With Us Hydroponics. If you're in the Rhode Island, Warwick area and you need some hydroponic supplies, stop on by at Grow With Us Hydroponics. Tell them Grubby sent you. Speaking of the Rhode Island, New England area, if you happen to be in the Rhode Island, New England area, stop off at Grow With Us Hydroponics, Home and Hydro, or Three Guys Hydroponics, all of which are very fine stores in the Rhode Island area, all of which are carrying Grubby Cup's potting mix. If you are in New York, make sure to stop off at Harvest Moon Hydroponics in Buffalo and in Rochester. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
We're listening to DFZRadio.com.
Botanicare is proud to introduce a revolutionary three-part nutrient system that is the culmination of over 15 years of research and development. The Kind Plant Nutrient System. Designed by leading plant physiologists, this is the most versatile, effective, yet easy-to-use plant nutrient system ever created. It all starts with Kind Base. Kind Base contains nitrogen and calcium, but no trace minerals, magnesium, or sulfur. By placing those nutrients in the Grow and Bloom formulas, you have greater control over how your plants grow in your medium of choice. Using coco coir or RO water, just add more base to increase calcium levels. Growing in clay pebbles or rock wool, then just reduce the amount of base to ensure the proper calcium level. It's that easy. Kind Grow contains trace minerals and a proprietary blend of all natural ingredients to help maximize root growth, reduce internodal spacing, and create a lush canopy. Kind Bloom was formulated with the optimum phosphorus to potassium ratio. Your plants will have healthy branch and stalk development, accelerated flower set, and increased yields. Kind Bloom also contains magnesium to help improve photosynthetic efficiency, which is critical in accelerated growth environments. To put it more simply, Botanicare's Kind nutrient system is the only nutrient system that is fully customizable to your kind of plants and medium. Botanicare Kind Base, Grow, and Bloom. Fully customizable. Any plant, any medium. For more information, go to botanicare.com. Botanicare Kind. Make it your kind.
We're listening to DFZRadio.com.
Well, hey there, everybody, and this is your pal, the Wizard, and I'm here to remind you that the Heavy Tea Grow Show is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Beer 30 Show is on Mondays at 5:30. On Tuesdays, it's a twofer. You get a Girl in the Garden at 5 p.m. and Grow with Grubby Cup Show at 6. Make sure to tune in to DFZ Radio for all your bizarre, weird, and odd programming.
You're listening to DFZRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on DFZ Radio at dfzradio.com.
Oh, Senor Grubby Cup. Senor Grubby.
Oh, hey, Sancho. What can I do for you?
Well, I was in the village, and I heard them talking about something.
What was it they were talking about, Sancho?
Well, they said that you said that outdoor gardening could save a lot of electricity in the summer.
Well, that's true, Sancho. Even in places where it's inclement and you can't do regular gardening in the fall and the winter and the spring, at least in most places, you should get at least a couple of months of pretty decent sunlight. And if you do things like start your plants indoors and move them out to the sun when, during the summer when you can, then that can save a lot of electricity over indoor lighting. You may need to, get a little tricky with things like light deprivation and that to get it to set flowers and that at the right time. And it won't work for all plants, but at least for some, you can save a chunk of electricity if you can garden outside, if that's a possibility in your area.
And now for a few words from the Irreverend Job. Hi there, friends. Hi there. Hello to each and every one of you. This is the Irreverend Job, and I want to say a few words to you, if I might, if I may. I would like to speak to you for a moment about gardening. And I want to tell you that if you are a gardener, then you already know that there is a certain amount of pleasure in taking a small seed and nurturing it and letting it grow and helping it get along in life until it fruits, until there is something that you can harvest and that you feel good about that process. That's one of the reasons that folks garden. Now, if you take that little seed, if you take that tender little sprout and you mistreat it, then you may well not get much harvest. That's when plants are at their most vulnerable and a little damage when it's just a little sprout can hinder that plant for the rest of its life. Now, once it gets a little older, once it gets a little more mature, it's able to take a little bit more harsh conditions. It's willing to take a little bit more punishment, but still there is a limit, and still a good gardener should make sure that there's a limit to how much damage that plant receives. If you see that plant's in trouble and you give it a little helping hand, then you may get some more harvest when it comes time. But if you ignore that plant in distress, then it can become a haven for all sorts of parasites and unwelcome visitors. If you take a plant and you let it wither, then you may well wind up with a spider mite infested plant that could be a source of issue for your entire garden. Now I know what some of you are saying. Some of you there in the back, you're saying, Irreverend Job, what could I do? How could I help that travesty from occurring? Well, friend, I'll tell you true. What most gardeners will tell you is that the time to fight an insect or a pathogenic infestation is to keep the plant healthy enough where it is not as susceptible to that sort of incursion in the first place. The first step in protecting your plants is to have healthy and well-nurtured plants to start with before the incursion happens. Now, your little sprouts, any little sprouts that you may have at home, are too young to be listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show, but you won't. This has been the Irreverend Job, and I'm wishing you and any sprouts you may have a very pleasant week. And remember, take care of your sprouts and don't be an asshole. Thank you again for taking time out of your week to join us here at the Grow with Grubby Cup show.
I've been your host, Grubby Cup Stash, and you've been listening to us on the DFZ Radio Network, which can be found at dfzradio.com.
You got some seeds to grow, he'll keep you in the know. Variety to claim, so baby, what's his name? He's a man to know. He'll make your garden grow. Grubby Cup's his name. He's the man who'll make a change.
Your garden's looking far out. You must listen to dfzradio.com.